Hi everyone, and welcome to our virtual classroom. And it's good to see all of you, and I hope all of you are doing well and adjusting to our new way of connecting. So I have been enjoying your discussions of Kaufer and his works, and particularly his posters for the London Underground. And it is fascinating how we have a situation where this is a very public service, but because of the desire of Mr. Pick and wanting to incorporate more of an artistic role for these posters, we see that in the work that this artist provided. And it's really, quite inspiring actually, because I think sometimes we look at things and we think, well, they're so utilitarian, they can't really be artistic, when in fact that is not the case. So yay on your DB posts, and again, to remind you, that is how we are doing our attendance, so that we can keep up with those attendance points and hold on to those. So that is what they are for. So where are we going? Well, we are going to this week, which is the week of March 30th. We are going to be looking at futurism and some other isms. But we do have coming up this week our second exam. And I know I haven't posted your first exams yet. I am going to be doing that. But this has been kind of a whirlwind getting everything organized for you online. And so little delays here and there, but it will be fine. So we have exam number 2. Exam number 2. And you'll be able to complete it sometime this week. You don't have to complete it on the day, like on April 1st or whatever. I put those dates to kind of give me a template of what we needed to do and the time period we needed to get working on these things. But obviously, it's the week of March 30th when these things are going to happen. So during this week coming up, you will have your second exam, and it will be very much like the first one. And then we will have your annotation number 3 due this week. And again, it's during this week of March 30th. So you don't have to do it on April 3rd. You can, anytime during this week of March 30th is fine. And so, yes, that brings us to April, and it brings us to April 5th. So you will have till April 5th to complete the second exam and your annotation number 3. And you'll have until Sunday at 11:59 p.m. So you can work that into your schedule, however best fits what you're doing. So that is a really good plus for a lot of us, that it's not something, we're not going to be meeting online for at a certain time of day with Zoom or anything like that. This is going to be something that you can complete as you can during that week. Okay, so those are 2 important things to point out. Now, also this week, you will have a lecture situation, which will be under announcements, and it will be our lecture for the week of March 30th. And so what is it going to cover, just to give you kind of a taste of what it's going to be like? First of all, the PowerPoints I found in reconfiguring things, I'm not going to have separate PowerPoints because it's really redundant to have second PowerPoints. So there's going to be images interspersed with explanation. for our lecture time together that you're going to find in the announcements. So it'll all the information will be right there with the pieces we're going to be looking at, which will be much easier for you. So when we're doing our exams, you can just reference those. Now, before I do go on, I want to say that our exam will be over, obviously, Dada. Yeah. And the war posters. So it's going to cover let me get to where I want it to get. So it'll be starting with the World War I posters, and then it will go through the London Underground. How's that? So that is what will show up on the exam that's going to happen this week. So you'll be able to reference your notes and our old PowerPoint that got us to this point, and then our discussion board discussion of Coffer and his work with the London Underground. So that will be what our exam will be over. Okay. Now, going forward, this week, our lecture is going to be over futurism, and it is, well, it comes out of Italy, and the main person who was leading the way on this very interesting artistic expression is Filippo Marinetti. And so I will talk a little bit about him and his work and their manifesto, because most all art movements that we've been talking about recently have their little manifesto. So we'll have that. And then we will go on and talk about vorticism, another zism. And this is, well, it's rather the English answer to Italy's futurism. So it's the English interpretation of futurism. And why do we talk about these? Well, because they have a huge impact on new ways to approach a project, a design project. And so we're going to be talking about them with some examples. And to give you a time frame, Marinetti himself visited London in 1911 and again in 1913. So we are looking at just right prior to World War I on this, and then going farther into post World War I. Then we're going to talk about purism. And this is something that emphasizes the machine aesthetic. And let's see, this is when we start to see works in the 1920s. And I'm looking here, some of the people who are behind this movement are Ozenfant, and who is from France, and then Swiss-born Charles-Edouard Jeanneret. And he becomes known as Le Corbusier, or the Crow. And I think we mentioned him a little bit too. But anyway, we will talk about him. And then we go to a design style and aesthetic that is probably the most familiar with people of this period, and that is Art Deco. And we're going to talk about Art Deco in France and in Britain. And Art Deco is just an abbreviation of Art Décoratif, which was part of an exposition in the 20s in, yes, I believe it was, yes, France. and it's caught on. The style, the lines, everything, the colorations caught on, and it becomes known as Art Deco. And oh goodness, there are all kinds of things that are represented by Art Deco. It has a very geometric quality to it, and it starts to become part of fashion, part of architecture, all kinds of things. And so we will be talking about that. And in doing that, we will be showcasing an artist and designer named Cassandra. And he does some amazing poster art that is Art Deco inspired. And then one of his most famous posters for the Normandy cruise line, and we will be featuring that in our discussion. So that is where we're going to be going for this coming week of March 30th. And I think for a lot of us, this is something that we, Art Deco particularly, we're familiar with, but we really don't understand like its origins and where it came from and all of that. And so we'll be answering a lot of those questions as well. So yeah, this will be a interesting way to end the teens and go into the 1920s, and I believe we end up in the 1930s with Cassandra's poster for the Normandy cruise ship. And so that's where we are headed this week. And again, if you have any questions or any clarifications needed, please do not hesitate to email me, and I'll do my best to answer those questions. And we'll find results for any concerns that you have. We will have a new discussion board post for you to participate in for this week. And so look for all of those things. Remember, it's really important to stay plugged in with our Canvas page. And so the exam will be under assignments. So just like where you find the annotation assignments, that's where you're going to find our exam number 2. And then of course discussions you find under discussions, all on the left hand side of your Canvas page. So any questions, any concerns, let me know. And I hope you guys have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.